Barek, Beit Resh Kaf, in Targum Onkelos. We remember the biblical Hebrew verbal system with its 7 productive stems. Now, Beit Resh Kaf is a verbal root that exists in biblical Hebrew, and it appears in these 5 stems if we count kal as encompassing the kal passive participle Baruch. Now, a question we want to ask is, how do these uses cross over into their translation in Jewish literary Aramaic? Because we have a different system of verb stems. We have these 6, and in fact, only pa'el and itpa'al are used for Beit Resh Kaf. So how do these 5 stems of Hebrew barak come over into 2 stems of Aramaic barek? Well, they come over this way. So Baruch, the kal passive participle, every time appears as an adjective in Jewish literary Aramaic. So it falls out of verbal system rendering. Both piel and pual come over into pa'el, and that makes some sense there. The pual participle is rendered as a pa'el participle. So a slight change from passive to active voice. But then we see pual also coming over into Jewish literary Aramaic in the itpa'al category in the bottom right. And that's because it's a finite verb, and that's passive meaning. Now, we notice nifal and hitpael both being rendered by itpa'al, which is interesting because nifal as the end stem normally corresponds either as the passive or reflexive of kal, the basic stem, the G, and does not belong in the D category, whereas hitpael is the direct correspondence to itpa'al. So this is important for interpretation in Genesis, which is where we're reading now. In Genesis 12:3, for instance, all the clans of the earth will be blessed because of you. That's Targum Onkelos. Now, the nifal of Beit Resh Kaf in biblical Hebrew only appears in the Abrahamic covenant. Hitpael only appears in the Abrahamic covenant. And because of your sons, or your seed in Hebrew, all the nations of the earth will be blessed. So the question here is, in the flattening of both nifal and hitpael into the itpa'al in translation, what meaning, if any, has been lost? So, of course, this depends on the original Hebrew, not on the Aramaic. And so some relevant articles here are those of Benjamin Noonan and Chi-Chu Lee. The findings tend to be that Beit Resh Kaf in the nifal is a passive. So the nations will be blessed in Abraham, whereas hitpael is more of a reflexive. They're going to find blessing for themselves. That having been said, we can return now to discussion of Genesis 1:22 in Targum Onkelos.